many milestones are included in the program this evening, which was available at that name tag table, so pick one up on your way out if you didn't grab one on the way in. But hopefully you also noticed our graduating senior scholarship poster on the way in tonight. These students all served over 100 hours with us during their high school years here, and they received scholarships funded by your earnings from Wild Rose Gifts, the 4th Floor Salon, Rooftop Cafe, and the refreshment cards. And we recognized a record 37 scholarship recipients this past month at their senior, yes, it's fabulous. And it's a record by far from previous years. So this past month at their senior awards banquets and graduation ceremonies. And several of these student volunteers are here with us tonight. I'm going to read off the folks that we were expecting. Caleb Sedlacek, Makaku Harata, Maya Ola, Caroline Van Voorhees, and Michelle Geringer. Also, Ruchira Laroria is our service champion who volunteered nearly 300 hours, more than any other graduating high school senior, so also received the Guy Harris Memorial Scholarship this year. So scholarship recipients, wherever you are in our event tonight, please stand in your area and let's all give them a hand. There she is at the back. This past year, you have already distributed over $280,000 through the request for funds process to benefit patients and families. You have funded items ranging from iPads to bereavement resources to patient education. But what does this really mean? What effect does this have on our patients? A couple months ago, I received the following message from Karen Stanger, the assistant nurse manager in our surgical intensive care unit, and she writes, "Patients in the SICU have benefited from the iPads, and I wanted to share that with you. One particular mom wanted me to tell you about what a difference the iPad made. Her son was intubated and unable to talk. He was very sick. When he started to wake up, he could only nod and try to mouth words which she could not understand. Dr. Hertig came to see him and gave him one of the augmentative software you funded for use by patients who cannot talk. And he started to communicate with his mom right away. Instead of struggling and frustration, their conversations became much deeper, and they were able to have good conversations together. And she was so thankful for the time she's been able to spend with him and the conversations they've been able to share." And I think this is why it's so hard to truly show the difference your contributions make at this institution. Out of the nearly $300,000 you distributed, you spent $1,000 on that one iPad and software. And that's just the story of one patient and family that benefited from that one single purchase. And you think that wasn't worth $1,000 to that mom? And how many times over will that be used? So we could spend hours at this podium and still not touch on half of the caring stories made possible by your support. But of course, your major financial gift this year was offered to our wonderful new clinical cancer center, where you have the Wild Rose Gifts satellite and pharmacy. You helped furnish the beautiful family room with our first ever fireplace. The artwork, the aquarium there, the cancer information service desk, and the healing garden space. Over $230,000 total went to that. And I don't need to tell you what an impact that has on our patients and families, because so many of you are also serving in this area, and you get to see firsthand the impact that funding has had. I was recently told by one of you, my thought process is, how can I make this experience of this child or family at UIHC just a little bit better? And that is really what volunteer services is all about in a nutshell. Identifying needs, oftentimes unspoken needs, and finding ways to fill them with funding, programs, projects, or simply sharing our time, a listening ear, a caring smile, taking advantage of the opportunity to make that small difference wherever it might present itself. The amazing contributions represented by the faces of our volunteers attending this event tonight would not be possible without the strong, consistent support from our staff, faculty, and administration. Many have joined us here this evening in salutation, and on behalf of all of our volunteers, I do thank you for your partnership, for your presence here tonight, and for your continued strong support. which allows us to make a difference together for our patients, families, and staff alike. And speaking of this strong support, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the host of this wonderful thank you celebration tonight, our CEO, Mr. Ken Cates. Ken?
Well, thanks, Jean, and good evening. I'm really delighted to be here to host the 2012 celebration of caring, which is appropriately being held on your back turf. The beautiful Joyce P. Summerall Patient and Visitor Activity Center. This truly is one of my most favorite events of the year because it affords me the opportunity to spend time with so many of you to share appreciation of all of us here at UI Healthcare. Your caring truly makes a difference at our hospital each and every day, and you exemplify service excellence better than anyone here at our medical center. So as you heard from Jean, we're here to celebrate the dedication of those of you who generously give of your time and talents and support to uplift our patients and families in a time of tremendous need. So who knows what we're celebrating this year? That's a question. It's a special anniversary. What anniversary? All right, it's the Ruby Jubilee. So how many years would that be? 40. It's your 40th anniversary. So Volunteer Services is celebrating 40 years of improving the patient and family experience at UI hospitals and clinics. So congratulations, and please give yourself a round of applause. It's just remarkable. Now, in fiscal year 2011, we benefited from the services of over 1,400 volunteers who donated over 114,000 hours of service to UIHC. Now, I'm a hospital administrator, so I like to do math. And so what's the financial value of 114,000 hours of service? So if we didn't have all you providing that wonderful service to patients, families, and staff, that would translate into another $2.4 million of salary. So that is just remarkable. And in the history, the 40 years, that, my understanding, Gene, is a record, an all-time record. So just remarkable. In your program tonight, there are a number of other statistics listed, as well as many other milestones that are being celebrated this year. 10 of you have reached 1,000-hour milestones this year, 2, 5,000 hours, 2 more, 10,000 hours, and 1, 20,000 hours. 9 of you will receive the 2012 Governor's Volunteer Award. Similarly, we need to honor those who devote countless hours as members of the Volunteer Services Advisory Board, which provides important fiduciary stewardship of the funds raised through Wild Rose Gifts, the 4th floor salon, Cradle and All, and the Rooftop Cafe, as well as the hospitality carts, among other responsibilities. As you heard from Jean, the funds generated through these ventures approached $300,000 in fiscal 2011 and have been instrumental in supporting a wonderful array of programs. You heard about the iPads, and there are so many more. Very, very impressive. So I encourage you to join me in conveying our collective appreciation to all of these special volunteers for these magnificent accomplishments. Those are amazing statistics. So please join me yet again in congratulating everybody. But we all know that we can't just measure based upon dollars and cents. It's really the individual stories that highlight the impact that each and every one of you make each and every day here at UIHC. And I'd just like to share with you some of the feedback we've received from volunteers about their service experiences. So from a child life volunteer, quote, "I played Don't Break the Ice." Is that a song? Oh, it's a game? I'm an old guy. "I played Don't Break the Ice with a little girl, and she loved it. We played for hours, and she told me, 'I bet I am the happiest girl in the hospital right now.'" Now, as an aside, I hope many of you had the opportunity to see the renderings of our children's hospital as you walked in. I'm delighted to say at the Board of Regents meeting in Iowa City here yesterday, they approved an increase in the project budget, so it's close to a $300 million project, and we're so excited because in early 2016, we will be opening a world-class children's hospital for Iowa's children. And I just wanted to highlight again the tremendous partnership we have with Volunteer Services, not only in our adult hospital, but of course in the children's hospital and so many other areas. And so we're so excited that our world-class children's programs will have a world-class facility. So some more feedback from volunteers. From a volunteer on the pulmonary unit, "I took a patient up to the museum by the Volunteer Services office for the first time today. As we were walking through, he saw the iron lung and told me about how his brother had polio. When we walked back to the unit, he told me how nice it was to walk around for a bit. From a volunteer in the SICU, or the Surgical Intensive Care Unit, the highlight of my day was taking a patient to get an MRI. We talked for a long time about our hometowns and our favorite movies. I could tell he was pretty nervous, and I was glad to help take his mind off things. And finally, from a volunteer on the Respiratory Special Care Unit, I took a lady to the library, and I know she really appreciated it because she has been on bed rest for the past 2 days. Her husband hasn't been able to come in much because he has been working. It was a simple thing I did that made a difference. So I think it's pretty clear these snapshots collectively show the caring touch each of you bring to this institution. In so many places, in so many different ways, it's the small gestures of caring that add up to the big difference, that extra inch that we keep referring. And they also perfectly reflect our focus on service excellence. I think every one of these interactions showed our shared purpose of caring with our minds, hands, and hearts. So in closing, I think it goes without question how essential you all are in our mission to improve our patient and family experience, whether you knit hats for our newborn patients, serve in the gift shop, provide directions to the overwhelmed visitors, or offer a kind word, a hot cup of coffee, or a reassuring smile. You are making such a meaningful difference, and this world-class medical center is immeasurably better because of each of you. So please accept our heartfelt appreciation for the compassionate support you provide to our patients, families, visitors, and staff each and every day. And please join the rest of this beautiful evening in celebration of your caring. So thank you again.